Hello, nobody. Welcome to the Mayhem Undead stream. If you're watching this in the future, because nobody's watching it right now. Let's see how long it takes for me to get my first viewer. Maybe I should tell people I'm live. Hello, first person. Thank you for joining the Mayhem Undead stream. Ask me questions, because I'm good at answering questions, but I have no idea what to say otherwise. Hello, W7E7. Hello, Gym Lord. Howdy. Welcome. Eee. Hello, C Thingamagog? Thingamagog. I'm gonna call you Thingamagog. Hello. Welcome to my live stream. 3 people. Wow. I'm famous. Ask me questions about life, the universe, anything. Ask me questions that you would ask ChatGPT. Because I'm smarter than ChatGPT. W77 says, how did the filming of the podcast go? It went great. Absolutely, it went great. Definitely my first episode, I had a lot of struggles with the technology, but figured out. And this time it went really smoothly. So, yeah, I always thought like I would be really a bad podcaster because I'm not good at asking questions, but that just means like I'm not good at interviewing people, but I'm fine at having a conversation. So I just am framing the podcast as like, let me just find people that I could have an interesting conversation with that would make a good hour and a half video of me and them yapping. Um, because it just takes so much less effort than making a video essay. And I want to keep making video essays at the same rate, but I just need to be making more content so that people who want it can can have it. And you know, I kind of need like cannon fodder just to give to the algorithm so that because when I put a week into a video, it just doesn't go viral or anything, and I'm like, oh, I need something easier to make. So I'm doing live streams and podcasts to help boost my boost my hours of stuff of me yapping on the internet because I can yap and yap. The th- could you share the themes of your podcast in advance, or you prefer it to be a surprise? I talked with a licensed therapist about issues of identity and body dysmorphia and how they. Oh, I didn't really bring in Nietzsche too much, but we talked a little bit about how it relates to Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, self-actualization. We talked a lot about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, getting stuck in loops of trying to make yourself better, but just making yourself different and not necessarily better, and how we get into these loops, how it relates to certain personality disorders, and yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was a good hour and a half, sort of, or somewhere over an hour podcast. Yeah, Yee, I'm excited. Yeah, I've definitely got some interesting people that can come on, and yeah, and I mean, anyone who wants to apply to be on the podcast, if you have a really good webcam setup, because that's the thing. I need people who um, are comfortable with being on camera and talking on camera too. But I will like yap with anybody too. Um, so while this, I'm still trying to get guests on, and this might be your chance to have a conversation with Mayhem herself if you have a nice webcam and a microphone. I mean, it doesn't even have to be that great. Just like look presentable and be able to yap about something for an hour, and you might get the gig. So yeah, I I'm so glad my family lets me do what I do, 'cause on some levels, I feel very cool, but on other levels, I'm like, I could see how people might see me as, like, a degenerate e-girl, just dressing up like a cat girl in her room and talking to 3 people. But my mom believes in me, and I really appreciate her for that, because someday I'm gonna be rich and famous. Um, I say they're not delusions of grandeur if you actually do them. So, I like to I just have goals of grandeur that I work really hard to achieve. They're only delusions if you don't work hard at them, I think. If you just think, "Ah, I'm gonna become famous," but then you don't like, I work at this all day, every day, really. Like, I finished a video essay script this morning. Took me 3 days to write it because I don't use AI. I just first day I outline, second day I rough draft, third day I final draft and film. And because I really care about giving people the best possible ideas that took me a long time to figure out. So if people can just watch a 5-minute video from me and get an information download that took me years to come up with, then humanity is just going to progress faster for everyone who watches my YouTube channel. That's my goal. Honestly, I one of my big goals in life is just I am so scared. Like, I believe in reincarnation, but I'm so scared of being reincarnated because I think this is like peak form. Like, I like this one. I like myself so much that I'm like afraid of dying. Um, but I just try to think of all the good things about that I've learned as me being so smart and wonderful and perfect and all, and see if I can give them to the masses so everyone can enjoy them. W77 says you could start a business linked to your YouTube channel, creating cool custom sigils along with instructions to empower them through placebo, passion, organic energy, ecstasy, exhaustion, etc. I do sell sigils on my website, and I am very sorry that it is right now just US shipping. Um, but I do have my sigil is the sigil of mayhem. I'm not much of an artist, but I don't know why I always keep them under my desk because every single time I go to get one during a live stream because they're cool and I need to show you guys. Okay. I don't know. I haven't even gotten out the tattoos, but okay. I make these little necklaces by hand, and they've got the sigil of mayhem. They're really cool. So I say that this sigil, it was inspired by both like the Chaos Star and the Icelandic sigil Vejvisir, which is the compass of destiny. So I think of it as finding your own order within chaos. Like chaos is good when it's the destruction of an old order that gives you space to create your own. So I have temporary tattoos and necklaces on my website you can get with the sigil of mayhem. And someday I'll make like stickers and patches and stuff, but just gotta break even first. So yeah, those are really fun. But yeah, I'm not much of as far as like visual arts go, um, I'm not super like creative in that way. Like I like to make when I do make paintings, I like to copy like famous paintings. I'm not really much of a doing things from scratch that way. Although I do have friends who are like into that. Maybe I'd like yeah, get them to help. I don't know who'd buy that though. But, but I would love to do I would love to be like a life coach at some point and coach people one on one. But I gotta wait till I'm a little more famous because I want to charge like crazy prices. I don't know. It's kind of a lot. You don't know what you're gonna get when you talk to strangers on the internet. It's like, especially when you look like this, it's like, oh, I don't know what I don't know what kind of clientele I'm gonna get. Hello, wow, there's 6 people. Wendy's Baconator, Fret always coming in with the clever variations on hamburgers. I love Wendy's. I love Wendy's French fries. I like to eat Wendy's French fries. I have never eaten anything from McDonald's ever, and I never will because I have terrible, horrible allergies, and it would probably kill me. But Wendy's is pretty cool, and um, I I miss I miss the old Wendy's. What can I say? Jean says, "You get Stranger Things. Um, please be more specific." Jim Lord says, "So kind of long question. Great, because I love long questions, because I love to yap. But in one of your videos, you mentioned your theory of life, so to speak, about how we are all basically God or an infant God that is going through each person's life and then it gets cut off. Do tell. I'm so intrigued." Fred says, "When I was a kid, like 5 years old, I heard someone died from undercooked meat at Burger King, and then whenever I would eat from there, I'd be scared of death. Honestly, I'm scared of death every time I eat because I have horrible allergies. Horrible allergies. Everything wants to kill me. There's things that will kill me fast, but there's like a few things that will. I mean, there's a lot of things that will kill me pretty fast, actually, like a stake through the heart. But there's like a lot of foods that will kill me fast, but there's even more foods that will kill me slowly. Like just make me waste away down to a skeleton if I eat them. So I can only eat like meat and fish and eggs and vegetables, some vegetables. I can't eat beans and berries. That's my whole diet. That's all that I eat. Okay, Gym Lord. Um, Jean says pun on the TV show. Well, I don't watch TV because I'm too busy reading books and studying languages. I looked up how much time I've spent studying languages just on like my favorite app. It was 455 hours. I feel like that's kind of a lot. I feel like that's more than most people have logged on like their favorite video game. That's like a lot of hours. 455 hours. I should get a medal or like at least a gold star sticker on my forehead. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Jim Lord, I will now read all of your texts. Thank you. Okay. We'll start from the top again. So kind of a long question, but in one of your videos, you mentioned the theory of life, so to speak, about how we're all basically God or an infant God that is going through each person's life in order to gain knowledge about the world/universe, right? I may have misunderstood, so feel free to elaborate further. With that, okay, so I will elaborate. The Egg is a story that I did not write. It's by Andy Weir. Um, I totally like said his name wrong in a previous live stream because I was thinking of I was um I totally said James Weir in a previous podcast. I noticed it when I watched it back and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's because I had just been talking about a book by James Gleick, The Information, and I got Andy Weir and James Gleick mixed up and I'm sorry to either of them who are not watching my little rinky dink live stream, but I felt bad. um so I The Egg is a story by Andy Weir, science fiction author. It's on my channel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a video on my channel called The Egg where I recite it, act it out. I believe in that with an asterisk. Like, I don't necessarily think that we are an infant god and there is another, like, more mature god like, but I do believe that consciousness gets cycled through all people. So pretty close to what I believe. Like, I think there's only one thing in the universe and we're all part of it. And what you do to another person, you kind of do to yourself. So that is more or less that's pretty accurate. Okay. With that in mind, assuming that each life comes one after the other and not all at once at all times, do you think that you are one of the earlier or later versions of this loop, so to say? I know it wouldn't matter, but do you think that if this theory was right, that you could carry over experiences or memories over from life to life, that perhaps this revelation is just someone later along this line of reincarnation more self aware? So I That's the big difference that I have with the egg is I don't believe in sequential reincarnation because I don't believe that we just have like one soul. Like I've explained it as I don't think like we don't have one air or one water in our body. Like that's one way to explain it, and then I'll get into like the fifth dimension and stuff after. But this is there's levels to this, you know. The egg is kind of like a if you wanted to explain it to people in terms that they can understand, it's very good at being comprehensible. And then if you wanted to get a little more accurate, you would say, well, it's not really like you have one unit of soul and it's your turn to use the soul and then it goes back in time. It's like more like everyone is breathing the same air and breathe and drinking the same water and it's just cycling through this whole entire ecosystem and the consciousness or soul that you have right now might be transferred to someone else in 5 minutes because you never have all the same molecules of water in your body at this time. You never have all the same molecules of air at one time. So why would you have just like one unit of soul when everything that you're made of is constantly shifting and changing? Because I think of consciousness as something fundamental to the universe. Like I think it's just the force of the universe that processes information. Like it's fundamental in order I think it's fundamental for in order for the laws of physics to work. I might be talking to a scientist about that and having a podcast where we talk about information theory. That will be very exciting. I might be filming that tomorrow. We'll see if that goes through. I know if I'm not filming it tomorrow, maybe we'll reschedule it or something. But it's if it's scheduled for tomorrow, so I hope it's gonna happen. So um, but I don't think that like I don't really think that your soul is like a unit that gets reincarnated completely. It's kind of like saying, well, the water in your body gets recycled, but it's not like all of the water molecules in your body are a unit that 100% of them get plunked into another person. Like, who knows if that's even ever happened, that like every single molecule of water in your body gets into the body of other person. Like that probably doesn't even happen. So why would we think that soul is just this like unit of thing when we're made of things that are molecular and constantly in flux? So that's one reason that I don't think that soul is moving in this sort of like linear, well, first it's in this person and then it's in that person, because I don't even think that the unit boundaries are a proper metric of evaluation. The second thing is the way that time works. I like like I don't agree with the assumption that each life comes one after the other. I think that that is a good rhetorical device in a story that helps people understand it in like how you would explain it to a kindergartner terms. But I don't think that has necessarily maps onto reality, and that's not something that I believe in. And I think also that the way that time works, if I think that even if I did think that there was like just one thing that was like kind of traveling through time, which I kind of do, but it would be on a much, 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 much smaller level. Like if there is really like just one molecule and everything is just like a hologram of that one molecule, then that one molecule would be everything all at once. Or if we thought about it as moving through time, which would be a very human way to think about it, it would be like you are like it would take like billions of reincarnations of that one thing, of the one soul, to even make up one of you, you know, because you would be thinking on like the quantum level. Because if there's really only one soul, or what if there's really only one thing in the universe, it would be the most basic building block of reality. It would be like a quark or something like that, you know, whatever basic quantum particle, and it would just be that over and over and over in different configurations. So if there was really one soul of the universe that gets reincarnated like across like backwards across linear time, I would think it would be a quark, you know, something not really complicated. And then the whole organism of it all going over itself in loops would be maybe aware of that, but I hope I answered your question. Jodo Christoph says, "What languages do you study?" Okay, I have studied 10 different languages. I have had conversations in 4 of them. So my first language is English. My second language is French. My third language is Icelandic. That's um the third one I have had a conversation in. My fourth language is German, and my German is actually better than my Icelandic is now. Those are all the ones that I've had full conversations in so far. The one I've studied the most after all of those is Polish, but my Polish is terrible because Polish just kicked my butt. Polish is so hard. Um, yeah. The one I'm currently studying right now is Japanese, and I've also dabbled in Spanish, Russian, Navajo, and Swedish. But those ones I'm just kind of like not gonna revisit. I mean, I'll probably learn Spanish at some point. Um, but those are those are my languages. So I'd say I speak 4 languages, although not very well. I wouldn't say I speak. I'm fairly good at English, I guess. My English is not too bad. Fret says, "But how much time have you spent befriending an ant?" You know, I don't even know if you're referencing this, but I do say all the time, every ant is God. Like that's my belief about the universe is that everything in it, like the smallest part of it, is everything is God. Everything is like made in the image of God. Like everything is, and this is not necessarily God in the sense of the Bible, but it's something that I call God. So, but I think everything in the universe is like one thing that is manifest in every iteration of itself. So, I mean, if I think every ant is God, I mean, how much more friendly do you want me to be with the ants, you know? I mean, I have spent a lot of time befriending a chipmunk. Chipmunks, though. I've had 2 pet chipmunks, like in the wild, not like I'm gonna see if I can pull up um the video, and it's gonna be like really crappy quality. But here's me holding a chipmunk. Here's me with a wild chipmunk. And I look chopped, but like just look at the chipmunk that I have in my hand. So, I'm a Disney princess. Chipmunks will jump into my hands and eat out of my palm and let me pet them because I'm a Disney princess. I want to say a swear word, but I don't swear. But it would be funnier if I said I was a Disney swear word princess. That would be funny if I was the person to make those jokes, which I'm not. Jean says no TV. Well, then it's just Cthulhu jokes from now on. Well, I have read Ex Oblivione by H.P. Lovecraft. At one point, I had that entire story memorized. And maybe I'll like I feel like some memorization things like people will just think you're cheating. So it's but I'm really good at memorizing stuff. It's like a weird hobby thing I'm good at. Like I have a terrible short-term memory. Like uh, I don't know what day it is most of the time, but I'm very good at like if I decide I'm going to remember something like even if it's like a whole book or something, I can remember it. Um Thingamagog. Cthulhu joke sounds good to me, seeing as my name is one. Oh, I see. Okay, Thingamagog. Okay, that's funny. W7E7 says, regarding personal immortality, perhaps think of quantum entanglement, like creating a special strong quantum signature. Well, I would think it's the opposite, where it's not like there's something funky going on the quantum level. It's just that like maybe what's actually going on is causing the quantum stuff, you know? And that, like maybe um like I actually think that like gravity is just like the whole like gravity is not a force. I think the only force is like anti-gravity. And gravity is just the truth that everything is one thing. And then anti-gravity is the separation from that truth. Somebody give me a Nobel Prize. Kathingamagog says, I think God is a frustrating word to use in English. Something like Brahmin would be more accurate. God sort of carries a lot of floating around in the stratosphere. Sorry if my connection's bad too. Well, I keep watching my stuff and it's like all glitchy and I'm like, I don't know how to fix that. Uh, my internet speed is fine. I got that checked. It's not that. W7E7 says a set of unique links between particles that, when everything's stable, can stick around for a long time. I think every particle was originally connected and then they all got disconnected by anti-gravity. What do you think about that? Also, I feel like people are not impressed enough that I like held a chipmunk. Like, that's one of my proudest accomplishments in my life and nobody commented on it. One of my chipmunks was named Tuck and one was named Mina after classical, lovely, great literature. Tuck Everlasting and Dracula. Boy, I loved the movie Dracula, A Love Tale. That was so good. That was a great movie. Ugh. You ever see a movie so good that you're like, I just can't go to the movies for a while now because nothing's gonna top that for a minute. The thingamagog says anti-gravity. Now I'm curious. Oh man, I need to bring it. I need to bring in like a theoretical quantum physicist. I do know one, at least one, um, onto my podcast and like just give my absolutely schizophrenic takes and just see what they think about that. Like, well, like I think this, and they'd be like, so this is why you're insane and need to be medicated, probably. Jean says, if there were anti-gravity, as soon as it came into contact with gravity, they would annihilate each other. Yikes. Well, but Einstein said that gravity is not a force. Like, gravity is not a thing, though. Like gravity is like canonically a non-thing. Gravity is just like the absence of anti-gravity. It's like there's no such thing as cold. There's only heat in the absence of heat. Cold is just what humans call the absence of a certain amount of heat. Like darkness is not an entity. It's not a thing. It's just the absence of light. And I think gravity and anti-gravity are the same. Like gravity is not a thing. It's just the absence of whatever anti-gravity is. Eh. But I will talk about that with some actual physicists. W7E7 says, since you're on a main carnivore diet, have you watched Michaela Peterson's channel? She discusses many benefits of the carnivore diet. Yes, it was actually, I actually watching her TED Talk is something that got me into eating mainly carnivore. I'm not full carnivore, but I am like I don't eat any grains at all. I'm heavily skewed towards carnivore. And after I watched that, I was like, "Oh, I'll give this a go because I'm super sick." And I was like, "Oh, beef is like one of the only foods, beef and fish are like some of the only foods that my body actually functions optimally after I eat them." Like a lot of foods, some foods will kill me. Most foods will make me horribly sick. Other foods will just like make me not function very well. But like beef and fish, it's like gasoline for my body, like if my body was a car, and other things are just like putting water in the tank or something, I don't know. Jean says, "Well, yeah, you drink blood, duh, LMAO." Whatever makes you think that? Completely unfounded accusation. Good thing Magog. Well, sipping that red just water over there. It's just water. Thank you for reminding me that I'm very thirsty right now, actually. Primordial avatar. Totally did not get the notification. You should follow my Instagram and turn on post notifications because I always post it on my story. But thanks for being here. Welcome. Welcome. We're 6 people strong in the live stream. Ask me your questions before I become hopelessly, unreachably famous. Because right now, I'm live streaming to 7 people right now because I care about my first fans. I want to give everybody a chance to talk to me and have my undivided attention. And someday I might not be able to do that as much as I would like to. Someday I might be even more busy than I am right now. So everybody ask me all of the questions that you would like to ask me in your entire life right now. Jim Lord says, "At how many people do we start the cult sacrificing?" I mean, anybody is welcome to send me their life savings at any time. The sacrificing has to be like self-initiated, you know? You have to sign up as a sacrifice. You have to be like, "Hello, Mayhem, I would like to send you $100 so that you can afford to live stream in your room and be unemployed." Please send me $100. W7E7 says, "Being a vampire is a form of separation from the whole and retaining your own self." I mean, I wouldn't know because I'm just a regular human girl. Jean says, "What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? African or European?" Jodo Christoph says, "What's your best language learning tip? I study French as well." I want to gatekeep it, but I mean, well, okay, my top tip is to spend 450 hours studying languages. Like, any tip that I give you is like that's kind of like the because that's what I did. I have spent at least 500 hours studying languages. Like I checked and I had 455 hours on one app alone. Um, um, but I use Closemaster, so follow me in Closemaster. Jim Lord says W7E7, you commented the same thing twice. Did I mean, no, yeah, I answered that one. Jim Lord says, "How do I get a right hand position to that? I want a 20% cut." Well, I'll tell you how you can get a right hand position to that. If you want to send me $100 and give yourself a 20% cut, then you can give yourself $20 and only dollars. That's a good deal right there. So if you send me $80, you'll be getting a 20% cut of the $100. It's easy it's easy money, you know. W7E7 says, "Sure, sure." I have regular human teeth. I have lots of regular human teeth. I have so many regular human teeth, I don't know where to put them. I have to put them in couches. Give them to the tooth fairy. Sell them. Primordial Avatar says rookie numbers. Rookie numbers for studying languages? I mean, yeah, I agree, but like like am of a certain age where my frontal lobe is not developed yet, so I mean I've only had so much time. W7E7 says, "Do you usually remember your dreams?" Um, Sometimes. It depends if I am like focusing on that. It definitely I definitely have to like make it a priority. If I try to write down my dreams, I will remember them more often, but lately I am just so busy that I don't make it a priority, but I did remember my dream last night. I dreamt that I was uh, well, I can't tell you the whole situation, but my grandma was there. My grandma who died, and I was like, got to introduce her to someone that I met, and I was like, "Hey, grandma, I want you to meet my friend." Um, So that was interesting. Interesting dream. W7E7 says, "Are you able to have lucid dreams?" I've never had a lucid dream. I'm not super interested in trying to. Carl Jung was like kind of against lucid dreaming because he thought that um it brought the conscious into a place that was like the subconscious's territory, and that like the subconscious needs its certain amount of time to flourish, and we can't try to give everything to the conscious mind. I also kind of like I don't know what I would want to do if I was lucid dreaming, because I feel like my life is just so good. Like, also, the things that motivate me, like, the things that I want to do are, like, working towards bigger goals. Like, I like to read to learn new information, and I like to study languages, and I like to earn money and save up stuff, but I don't like to do any of those things, like, for their own sake. I like to do them for the rewards I'll get in the future, and I can't do any of those sorts of things in dreams. That's why, like, I mean, I love that I have to sleep a lot because it gives me a really good memory, but I hate that humans have to sleep because I like my life so much that I hate going to sleep just because 'cause I'm like, "I would rather be awake." And so, I don't mind that I don't always remember my dreams, so that I don't lucid dreams because like, I'm just unconscious and then I can go back to being awake, which is my favorite thing ever. Primordial Avatar says, "That's the best time. It's not as easy as you lock in." Do you mean, like you guys gotta give me a little more context, because 'cause I'm responding to 7 people at once, and I've got all these different threads going, and I go on tangents. But I'm gonna assume that you mean that before your frontal lobe finishes developing, you have more neural plasticity, which means it's easier to learn new things. Um, I mean, yeah, but hey, if you think 450 hours studying a language is rookie numbers, show me your stats. Please do, because I need friends who are as crazy as me. Gene Posnick says, "Have you ever had any lucid dreams?" I already answered that. No. Primordial Avatar says, "The subconscious needs to chill in my conscience space then." Conscious space then. Um, LOL. Um, Primordial Avatar says, "Yep, 1,000 hours." I mean, yes, that's ideal, but how many hours have you spent and on which language? And why aren't you writing in that language then? If it's one of the ones I speak. Um, Jim Lord says, "Yeah, I've had the same thought process about lucid dreaming. I'd try to do it if I could actually learn a skill through it, but just doing it for the sake of a power fantasy is a weak motivation." Yeah, like I am already living out my power fantasy in real life. Honestly, like my life is awesome. I love my life. I get sad every time I fall asleep because I want to keep living. Like I'm just like, boy, I sure hope I wake up tomorrow because I really like being mayhem. Primordial Avatar says, "Ni hao wo shi Primordial Avatar ni na." Um, I don't think that I'm learning Japanese. That's I don't think I think that's Chinese. Uh, uh, I haven't heard ni hao in any of my Japanese studies. So, okay. Did I get all right. I identified the language, I think. All right. Cool. Um, I can say konbanwa. Good evening. Um, arigatou gozaimasu. Um, W7E7 says your cult might need some form of Nietzschean soteriology, technical word for theory of salvation liberation, as a sort of path for the Ubermensch. W7E7, I want to take a moment to applaud you for defining one of your words. I am very grateful to you for defining the big word. You know which ones the big words are. I want everyone in my chat look at W7E7. They are an example. I'm going to write their name on the whiteboard. W7E7 was a good student today. They used a big word and they defined the word for everyone, including me, who doesn't know what that is. And yeah, salvation. Well, I think the first step for people in my cult is to watch all of my videos because I am trying to pinpoint what things saved me and try to share them with other people. I cuz I've been in some bad spots in my life, you know, especially being really sick and having allergies and not knowing what they were. There's times I've been like really sick and just in so much pain every single day that nothing could have made my life good, in those times. And um and a lot of mental loops and traps and quicksands that I've fallen into. I just want to help other people avoid those things. And I think whatever path people are on, I hope that at least the videos that speak to them or look interesting to them will help them with whatever they're going through in their life. And that's my goal, is to be able to convert all of my knowledge and wisdom into a series of like 500 YouTube video essays that will be on the internet forever. So that's, I think everyone has their own goal of what they want to do with their lives. And I just more so want to help remove the obstacles from those goals that people have rather than give them some new goal of what they should be doing because everyone has a different idea of what they want to do. Jero Christophe says, j'ai étudié le français depuis 13 mois maintenant. Okay, so I believe you're trying to say I have been studying French for 13 months now. Um, moi, j'avais étudié le français pendant, depuis je dois pense, attendre, le 11 ans, 11 years. Yeah. Um, Jojo Christoph says, um, cin $5 mot, $5 word, whatever that means. W7E7, looking at you. I think you learned something from my how to sound smart video. How to sound wise rather than pretentious is to let everyone share in the beauty of your words. To help everyone to understand what you mean. Get a soteriology. I would love to know the etymology too. Like if you drop a big word and it can uh like what does soter mean? Oh yeah, sote. Sote. Yeah, interesting. Soteros salvation ology theory. Soteros. Cool. Primordial Avatar says agathocacological. Agathocacological. Great. I really understood that well. Do you guys know that meme of the kid on the Zoom call with the voice modulator? I love the chat on chat discourse. Primordial and W77 are just geeking out over big words here. Primordial Avatar, something that is both evil and good. Agathocacological. Who boy. Like me, something that's both evil and good. Eee. I identify as evil because I think it helps me to become more conscious of my dark side. And like I think people who put a lot of their identity on being a good person, it can sometimes make them a worse person because they anything that they do that hurts people goes automatically into their blind spot. They're like, "Well, I'm a good person, so everything I do must be good. Therefore, if I did something that hurts someone, no, I didn't." But I think of myself as like, "Well, I am an evil creature who is occasionally capable of goodness, and I'll try to be aware of things I do that hurt people and try not to do those so much." But W7E7 says, "Do you agree with Machiavelli's statement that the ends justify the means?" I think it would really depend on the ends and the means. Because if I think it like, if the ends justify the means, then yes. But if you just say that the ends like, not all ends justify all means, you know? Like, like, I'm sure you can think of examples. Primo Avatar says, "He didn't know about nuclear fire, LOL." Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's many things that can justify nuclear warfare, for example. But, like, I think the ends justify the means is a very good argument for, like, eating meat. Like, I need to eat meat in order to survive. I'm allergic to almost all plant-based forms of protein. I can't eat any beans or peanuts or soy or, like, I I have to eat animals to survive. It is a good thing that I'm alive. Therefore, even if it's like a bad, even if killing animals is bad, I think the ends of me surviving justifies the means of animal slaughter. So, W77, I'm sure primordial meant Machiavelli. Interesting questions people come up with. I love my audience so much. My audience is so interesting. I love that I have, like, very specific problems with my audience that you do not get with the general public ever, like, using words that are too big that nobody knows what they are like, I never have that problem in real life, but I have that, like, 12 times a day on my YouTube channel comments, and I was like, "I don't have time to look up all these words. I need people to come with their definitions in hand." Jodo Christoph says, "How do you structure your essays when you're script writing?" That's a great question. So, I definitely write an outline first. So I start with like, well, what's kind of the idea? What's the problem that I want to solve? That's the first thing that I start with is like, what problem did I find a solution to that I want to share it with other people? So I start with thinking about that problem. And then I usually write the introduction, actually. I actually jump right in and write all the way up to you're watching neurohacking. So I kinda say like, "Hey, do you have this problem? Well, this is the thing that would fix it, but, oh, you can't fix it because of that? Well, it's a good thing I know the way to fix that, so keep watching and I'll show you how." And then I say like, "Well," and then I figure out, okay, what are kind of the steps? What are the steps to solve this problem? And probably first it's like a breakdown of it's usually what is the problem, like understanding the problem, understanding how to solve the problem, and then putting it into action. So it's kind of like, what's wrong? What do we do about it? And how do we do it? So then I kind of set up people's expectations of this is what the video is going to be. The video is going to be what's wrong, and then how do you fix it? And then what do you do to take action? And then I just kind of go through and I say those things. And then I say love mayhem. That's that's pretty much how I write a video essay. Great question. W77 says the other side of the coin is Kant, who argued that moral actions must be judged by their motives, adherence to honor, and duty, regardless of outcomes. Um, I tend to be more on the Machiavellian camp that the outcomes are more important than the motives, because I think a lot of people can have good intentions but hurt people, or like not necessarily have good intentions, but like I think of myself that I'm probably a lot more Machiavellian because I will do things that help people even if I don't like them, you know? So it's not like motivated out of like being a good person or whatever. It's just that like I think that I'm going to be reincarnated as that person, and even if I don't have a personal positive opinion of them, I still would like to suffer less when I get reincarnated as them. So, kind of most of my moral actions are based on if I thought of this person as a reincarnation of me, how would I act? That's how I try to act, although you you know, you can only do so much, you know. You have to put yourself first. You have to secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others. So, that's why I try to make things scalable. Like I try to make YouTube videos because I feel like that can help the largest number of people with the least amount of effort from my part, you know, because they're on the internet forever and, you know, an unlimited amount of people can watch them. So if I think, okay, this is a problem that I can help people with, and then I can record a video that is kind of like helping people with that problem, I feel like that's a very efficient way for me to help a lot of people all at once. So I hope that one of these days I'll be able to make a living doing this and get paid to make video essays and live stream and like you're talking to a free unlicensed therapist right now. Like send me your life problems and I will give you unlicensed life coach advice. My friends tell me I give really good advice. So W7E7 says, I hope the process of applying to the YouTube partner program is going well. I mean, I can't apply until I reach um the first level. You need 500 subscribers, which I hit, and 3,000 watch hours. I'm only at 500 watch hours, so um I get about 1 watch hour per subscriber, which is pretty good, but I'll probably be able to apply to get monetized when I hit like 3,000 subscribers because of that. That's probably when I'll hit the 3,000 watch hour mark. But I'm really looking forward to that, being able to sell merch and get super chats and make videos and stuff. I'm not even that psyched about like ad money because there's so many other things you can make money with. But I mean, that would be super cool too. Yeah. Like, what are your guys' life problems? Let me solve your problems. Solve all your problems. Just talk to the internet cat girl and she'll solve all your problems. We're getting close to an hour. So, everyone spam me with questions. Because if nobody says anything for like a few minutes, then that's when I'm like, well, I guess people are bored. Time to end the live. W7E7 says, you read a lot. In the future, would you like to write some books? I have a complicated opinion about this because I would like to wait until I'm like a lot older, but then I feel like reading's kind of going down, you know? You just can't reach a lot of people with books because so few people read. Like the amount of people that are going to read my book is going to be like a subset of my audience, you know? It's like maybe 10% of my followers will get my book and read it. And we'll see what I mean, if I got a publishing deal, like, sure, if I got, like, a lucrative publishing deal, but the process of, like, going out and trying to be like, "Ah, I'm gonna do a book," I don't know what the return on investment would be. I definitely don't feel like I'm ready to write my book yet, you know? I would wanna write it as, like, my final work, you know? When I'm not hot enough to do YouTube anymore, I'll start writing books. That's what Kathingamagog says, "How do I join the cult?" Well, first, watch all of my videos, become educated on the lore of mayhem, evangelize to your friends, tell everyone else that you know that you're in a cult and they should join the cult and get them to subscribe. If you're in the United States, you can buy my wonderful merchandise like this sigil necklace that I have for sale on my merch site. It comes in two varieties. I also have temporary tattoos and bracelets, and if people start buying my merch, I'll make more merch. So keep an eye on that. You can send me your life savings. I have a donation um, uh, tab on my website that you can send me your life savings. I know that Cash App isn't available everywhere in the world. It's just like US and maybe somewhere else. But as soon as I get like YouTube partner monetization, I will be able to accept donations through YouTube. So I'm looking forward to that. Primrose says, yes, get the tattoos. Yes, everyone should get my merch. You get a higher rank in the cult if you get my merch, which Primordial Avatar is of a higher rank than many of you. But I forgive all of you who are not in the United States because I'm sorry that the um international ship like I've tried international shipping some stuff and it just got like stuck in the mail and I don't want to disappoint people. Good thing Magog says I'm in Finland, so no merch yet. I'm so sorry. I I once I get big enough, I will have like I'll just like get a contact in Europe and have them handle all of like the European shipping. Like I'll just send them a box of merch and have them drop ship it or whatever. Jim Lord says favorite musicians, myself. If you haven't heard my music, it's on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube. I've got music videos. My favorite song by Mayhem is Persephone. If you haven't heard Persephone, you're missing out. It's a great song. I just answered that. W77 among the songs you created, which one's your favorite? It's Persephone. I love Persephone. Thank you. W77 says mine too. Yeah, Persephone is great. Persephone is my baby. Persephone is the greatest thing I've ever created. And I love her. Yeah, I'm very proud of her. Other artists, I like Falling in Reverse, Flower Face, Johnny, Bambi Thug, of Monsters and Men. That's a good lineup. Good thing Magog. That's my fave too. Yeah, Persephone's good. Persephone. Jim Lord says, gotta agree, Persephone, goated song. Yeah, everyone here loves Persephone. Persephone fan club. I hope this influenced everyone watching to listen to Persephone. Whether they've heard it or not, just go listen to Persephone again. And watch the music video visualizer. Someday I want to make a full music video that's like really cinematic and costs a lot of money. But I don't have the money yet. So everyone send me your life savings and it will go towards the Persephone Cinematic Music Video Fund. It costs a lot to make that song. I'm so excited to even break even on YouTube because I have just been like putting my life savings into this. W7E7 says, do your real life friends know that you have a YouTube channel? Bold of you to assume I have real life friends. But like the one real life friend I have does know about my YouTube channel. Yeah. Yeah, I still could say that I don't have real life friends if it's not plural. Yeah, I saw a real life friend of mine last week, and it was um I see my friends like once a year, and it sucks. And I do not have good social skills. I'm like very confident, but I'm also like very picky about who I want to hang out with. And I want to hang out with people who are like really productive and interesting, but then those types of people like do not have time to hang out, which like I don't really either. But and then when I get invited to parties, they're always at like 2 a.m. like raves and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. I go to sleep at 7:30. I like my circadian rhythm. I'll go to a party at 4 p.m. if it's like jazz and mocktails, because I don't drink alcohol either. I don't know. I'm just a nerd. I'm just a nerd who sits in her room and studies languages and reads books and makes YouTube videos. Just make my silly little YouTube videos. This is the most social interaction I usually get is live streaming. I mean that's why it's cool to start a podcast is it gives me an excuse to actually have a conversation with a human. Because it's as long as it's content, I can justify doing it because I have a productivity complex. Joe Christoph says, "What inspires your videos? Your readings?" I would say my readings support, like they give support to points that I want to make, but they don't like start the point. Like the point is always like an idea that like I have a list of like hundreds and hundreds of video ideas that I could do. Um But it's always usually there's a big idea in my head that I want to communicate to someone else, and the best way for me to do it just seems like making a video essay explaining the thing. Because I have a lot of ideas up here, and so I just have to pick like which is most important that I want to turn into a digestible 5 to 10 minute YouTube video essay. And so I guess my videos are inspired by my life. And then I try to read books to say, like, look, this person who has a doctorate degree agrees with me. Great. Believe me now? Even though I have cat ears? I just want people to, like, take me seriously, but not too seriously. You know? Like, not seriously enough that they check my sources too many times, but seriously enough that they will follow my advice. Because everyone who has ever followed my advice has said it was good advice and it saved their life. So, you should follow my advice. Primordial Avatar says, the most I've had outside of work. Yeah. I mean, this is, you are interacting with me. Like, you can just say stuff. You can say anything, and I will react to it and respond. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Please say, like, I mean, it's been an hour, so, like, I'm sure you guys are bored of me already. But, um, I'll give it another minute, see if anyone has any last questions. Final round. This is the finale of my beautiful live stream, my beautiful Sunday live stream. Primordial says, I enjoy having a YouTube account. Thank you, LOL. Yes, it's great. You are Primordial Avatar, you are the #1 yapper today. Although I do gotta give W77 some credit for defining a big word. Although I think you, Primordial, you defined a word too. Which I can't even remember how to say it. It was like gone, but it means being good and evil at the same time. Here it is. Agathocacological and soteriology. Amazing words, guys. I don't know where you get them. I don't know what kind of dictionary you're reading. Agathocacological. Give us a reading for the week or something, says Primordial Avatar. Oh, I love giving you guys homework. My reading is go read hold on. I'm gonna reference it in my next video. Not the one that's coming out on Tuesday, but the one that I just filmed that's coming out next Tuesday. Read this book. Everybody read this book. Everybody read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. If everybody read this book, everybody would be happier and the world would be a better place. And I'm going to leave you guys with that. This is the homework for your life. This is your homework. Is find this book, read this book, do this book. This is very important. This is your homework. Primordial Avatar says cleaning. No. Okay, it looks like a book about cleaning, but it's actually a philosophy book about how to make decisions. Don't let the cleaning part scare you. It is actually a philosophy book about decision making. It will make you a more confident and decisive person, and I'm working on a video about that. I filmed it today. I'm going to edit it this week, and it'll be out next Tuesday. W7E7 says a minimalist. Yeah, I mean, I just like my stuff. I take care of my objects, and anything I don't love or use, I get rid of it. And so, yeah, I mean, I found that book like 10 years ago, and it's been one of my all-time favorite books, right up there with Twilight. Primordial Avatar says, I'm pretty confident, just bullheaded. Um, you know, kind of a Zeus sort of vibe, bullheaded. But thank you guys all for hanging out with me and yapping with me. This is your homework. Primordial, the fact that you said no at cleaning probably means that you need it. But I love my rinky-dink little 5-person live streams. It's very fun. Thanks guys for joining me. And I'll see you next week or whenever my makeup looks good and I decide that it makes me less sad to go on a live stream because I don't feel like I'm wasting my makeup. Bye everybody.